What's good, YouTube? And welcome to it being extremely hard to relax and enjoy a spooky time marathon along with all the crazy anime that's coming out because the market in Yu-Gi-Oh! Waits for no man, woman, child, or Yu-Gi-Tuber. I do want to say yesterday, somebody was talking about, you said not to shop with FOMO, and I'm getting mixed signals because sooner than later, the pre-sale's the window. With pre-sales, it's a limited window, yes, but you are educated guessing and gambling, so I'm saying slow down, don't take my word as the Bible, I can be wrong as well. I personally think, for example, that the Horus deck core is overhyped for the price that it's at. However, it's selling out now on both pre-sales before I can even get this one up, and it sold out on the first volley, and Gamer's Choice relisted up in price, and it sold out, right? Like, I think it was originally 120, jumped to 150, it sold out at 157 over here. Of course, you can use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and support the channel directly, but with this set, there's a lot of hype behind it. If you look at Rise of the Duelist, it was $86 after a week and a half and headed straight into the 90s and hundreds for boxes. This feels like it has a lot of hype behind it, but I try to offer all the different viewpoints of, say, the rarity collection's also around the corner. A lot of money's going to go into this, but this is also going to be pretty stable for the WCQ season. I try to give multiple viewpoints on what could slow it down, what could speed it up, and I try to give you those factors so you can make decisions yourself. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future prices of these cards. I could be dead wrong about the Horus deck, and it could take over the rogue section. It could take over maybe parts of the metagame. I just personally don't think it's enough there yet, but people really seem to be breaking down the pre-order doors for this and going in on it before I can even shout it out. So again, for all my experience, I could be wrong on the estimated value pulled chop up. And what estimated value pulled is when these pre-sellers are taking this entire set, going, okay, quarter century rares here, this is probably the hype, and then the viewers, the audience, the people buying in, they're going, I think they could be wrong about this, I think they could be wrong about that, and placing their bet. But that's what you do every day when you buy a single. You're guessing if it will go up or down, or if this is a good place to buy it, or I just need it for this tournament, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it at this price finally. Okay, here you go. That's every single day on the market. That's why I'm trying to give you the tools to where you say, hey, okay, during pre-sales, I think I want to prepare myself for this. Like right now, Dark Zeus Yep is still in stock when it automatically sold out on Gamer's Choice, and I find that a bit interesting at the same price when the other quarter century rares that already sold out are going, gone. You know, the Wanted Seeker, Sinful Spoils. You also have the Diabella, sorry, I have to get used to TCG names. But you see similar stuff selling out, but that's still here. So that's a bit interesting that it's taking a little longer. But the Sinful Spoils stuff also, I think, is the deck of it, and it's more priced, yet not selling out as fast as Horus. Horus also has a huge legacy in the game with member berries, myself included. I love this guy. I have a figure here of Horus level 8 on my desk that just sits there, and when I put figures up for sale in the Discord, it's the one that sold out first. People went for it like crazy. So I feel like when it comes down to it, there's different factors that, even with all my experience, I can't expect, and what will happen during the pre-sale range won't always follow through, especially on sets unlike core sets that have short prints. You're playing even more Gamba, where you're like, guess the short print. And for example, in Mavens, the Shizu stuff in the TCG US wasn't shorted, and some of it was in the EU, causing weird disparities and different prices versus how pulled open it is. Also, that's another thing. This seems really hype. It could get pulled open a lot, as somebody in yesterday's comment section pointed out, and that could maybe drive prices down a bit. So maybe 82 seems a bit expensive on the SP early, where, yeah, it's, you know, pretty high priced, but it is generic. It's in the set. I personally could see it reaching triple digits, but the question is, where's the best time to buy? And it could sell out opening day for all of the hype that's on it. Like Jesse Cotton's calling it the card to watch, and he's one of the most experienced players in the game. But player brain versus market brain can also be a bit weird, where you don't consider other factors. That's why I pointed out the rarity collection around the corner, money going that way, etc. I'm trying to give you all of the factors and not put that pressure, but give you the tools to consider. There is a limited window. Do you want to? Don't you want to? Here's my considerations. So let's go ahead and get into the topic. Tier 0 pre-sales up here are selling out of a lot of things. Again, you can use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly. I do think that the quarter century rares in here will probably perform a bit better on specific ones, and a lot of those are already sold out. The thing is, there's still 1 out of every 8.3 cases repeating for a specific one, because you're looking at 3 per case. That's 1 out of every 4 boxes and 25 different ones. I also still think the Magicians of Bond and Unity is a bit overhyped. You have more of them coming, but long term it might be better. But I do think in the immediate you will see some down prices on these, and they'll cannibalize themselves off the market. Unlike 10,000 Dragon, those alternate versions still give you a version of the card just with a different color background, which I do think will eat from each other just a bit. When it comes to deck cores, a lot of people are also happy to see how the TG1 is. Also, I have terrible allergies today, so please bear with me. It was the first day I turned the heat on in the house, so I might stop to take a bit of a drink or be sniffing a bit more than usual. I promise I'm not like looking out for cardboard smells like Sam or something. But yeah, when it comes down to the set, I think junk quarter century rares are going to go probably even lower than pre-sale prices, and you will see certain ones go back and forth, but they are harder to get than, say, the Megaton ones, or it all comes down to the specific individuals. Also, Yen and Ken are commons, not supers, which in yesterday's video I thought was a great deal, which turns out to be like, it's okay for that. And they really could be common in case Konami wanted to test and slap one on the ban list later. And those are causing some buyouts too from the hype. But be aware, Tier 0's pre-sales are up. They are pretty darn competitive with Gamer's Choice. They're putting stuff at pretty much the same price Gamer's Choice sold stuff out at, and that's why they're selling out too. This set has a lot of hype going into it. Grimoire accessory playmats are up. Code What'sGood5 for 5% off and support the channel directly. We'll work on these. They are limited to 100 of each colorway, so I would get the one you want sooner than later. And that's for this release. They already did release some, so I think there will be like 200 total of each match. And I think they plan to retire these colorways as well after this release. If you see this mat again, they will be different colors. Also, I promise to stop joking about the dentist, but I can't resist. If you want your wallet to hurt as much as your sweet tooth, code What'sGood5 for 5% off over at Mana Moon and to support the channel directly. I think these deck boxes look freaking amazing and next level, and they are pretty darn well designed. Alright, so I promise there are buyouts because of Gen and Ken, and we're already seeing Dark Corridor spike up in price. This is one that I've said has a lot of potential before, and it does seem that people are now going, whoa, 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 these seem pretty darn good with Dark World. And yeah, Dark Corridor is spiking up there for both versions, especially the quarter century here, where, yeah, so if you did listen to me, I'm right for the wrong reason. I didn't expect TCG exclusives to unlock the potential of these. However, I would look at these displays on the Dark World structure decks. You know, the MSRP of structures is like, what, like, isn't it towards 13 now or something? So $40 for 8 structure decks here seems like a pretty good deal to be grabbing. I saw a lot of pros buying them in person at $8, like Ryan Levine, I think, posted it on Twitter. So something to be aware of is definitely that these are pretty darn cheap right now for maybe what they are, especially considering they were getting tops actually in the previous competitive season. Quick launch for Dragon Link, yep, its lowest rarity version is spiking really hard, and it's coming to be almost a price the same as the secret rare, so I would definitely buy the secrets over the common if you're in the market for them. Most Dragon Link players don't retire their deck, but some do sell it out whenever they're going for the next season in case of reprints or stuff like that. Just be aware, quick launch is getting expensive for the common, which probably means the secret rares are going to end up in price as well if the first editions aren't already, but they don't seem to be. They're around $10, so just get a first ed original secret if you're in the market for it, in my opinion. Kashtira Fenrir is falling off a cliff in price for the ultimate rare. This is what ban list hype can sometimes do. People buy into it, go with the rush. Oh man, the deck's still here. This is a staple, and it did seem like a solid buy, and here it goes straight down. I would not have anticipated it would fall off a cliff like this. I would think it would have been a slow fall if it were to go down in price, and I honestly expected it to go up, but here we go. It's lining up at $40. Definitely not near that $55-$60 it was Panless Day. Also, Spellbound here is getting a lot of eyes and hype. Even the ultra rare out of the 25th anniversary tins is spiking up, and Joshua Schmidt was on this card according to my Discord. I actually have not seen those results or gotten to sit down and watch that, but it does seem like there are a lot of uses for it in the metagame, and this is one of those ones that had an overhyped history of, oh my gosh, there's so much potential, this card could be so good, versus when will it get a reprint to help keep it down in price, right? But now it is spiking and seeing a lot of different kind of ways to be used, especially against Flunder. Here we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Toolbox kind of showing the different uses here if you want to pause and look at them. But yeah, Spellbound definitely just has a lot going for it in the current format, and it is seeing actual play. Void Ogre Dragon commons are up. I did warn you all that that one could definitely be happening with how the secret spiked, and the only other one is a tournament pack use. Be aware this is likely for the Red Dragon Archfiend Jack Atlas structure deck, where it sees a bit more use as an option for your toolbox. So yeah, it just doesn't have an easy access version. IP Masquerade is actually down a lot in price, and people are talking about this along with the SP card and how they kind of go together thematically, but also kind of in playstyle. So I would kind of get a secret rare sooner than later, of course using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing. I should support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. But it is interesting that the secret out of Battles of Legend is cheaper even than like the gold rare from El Dorado and stuff. So I would, yeah, just consider getting one of the secret rare options. I like the prismatic secret rare. But to note, the quarter century rare is getting bought here, and when the highest rarity version is going first, that's very interesting to me, because that means there's some faith from the deeper wallets in the metagame on a card like this. So just something to think about. The highest rarity is going. We'll see how the other versions of that do get affected. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is getting bought out for certain versions, like the Mega Pack Secret Rare is really bumping up here. There's a lot of Pendulum hype, not only between the release here, but you have other announcements for Pendulum support continuing. It seems like Konami's done being Pendulum phobic, and we're getting more support there. There's also an Ultimate Rare for this card that is actually nothing but down right now. So since the lower rarity versions are going right now, might be a good time to get yourself a first edition copy. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation. What do you think about Age of Overlord and how the early pricing is? What are you getting? What are you holding off on? I want to hear the conversation for other people to be able to reflect on in the comment section down below. I do feel like there is just more hype on the set than pretty much anything all year besides the rarity collection, which is why I do give that spotlight of, yeah, you might want to consider this here. I'd stay away from that, and that's why I approach pre-sales in the way that I do. I don't want you to shop with FOMO, but you also do want to consider, if you're going with the educated guess and gamble, what different factors I personally would take into consideration.